Okay, we're going to do our first we do problem. So every time you have one of these problem sets, there's going to be an I do problem, which you have up above, where we've written out a solution for you that you can hopefully follow. And then there's a we do problem where there'll be a video walking you through how that problem gets done. So in this case, our we do problem says a shipping channel is 4.5 fathoms deep. Fathoms is a unit that they used to use and still do to measure the depth of water. And if you are into boating, you may have used fathoms before. You have a shipping channel that's 4.5 fathoms deep. What is that depth in inches? All right. When I have a unit conversion problem, I generally want to start by mapping out where I'm starting and where I'm going to and how I'm going to get there. So I'm starting with 4.5 fathoms. That's my given quantity. So that's where I start. What I'm asked for is how many inches that is. So I'm trying to turn that into some number of inches. Okay. Now, I'm given three relationships here. I don't have any direct relationship between fathoms and inches. So if I map out how I'm going to get there, well, I do have a relationship between fathoms and meters. So I can go from fathoms to meters. Okay. I then have a relationship between meters and feet. So I could go from meters to feet. And then I have a relationship between feet and inches. So I could go feet to inches. So I'm looking at a three-step conversion here. And whenever I do conversions, I'm always going to write them out in a single row. You don't have to do it that way, but it is the most economical in terms of space and in terms of time. So I'd encourage you to start practicing doing that. So I always start by writing my given quantity, 4.5 fathoms. And now I'm going to set up a series of conversion factors. I know there's going to be three. In the first one, I want to have fathoms on the bottom so that those cancel out. And I'm going to, looking up above, I decided meters. So I write my units in, and then I'm going to put the numbers in from the relationship I have up above. So that would be 1 meter and 0.55 fathoms. When I do that, you'll see that fathoms will cancel. I'll be left with meters. So now I've gotten a third of the way there. My next conversion is going to go from meters to feet. So in this one, I'm going to want meters on the bottom and feet on top. Looking at my relationship above, that would be 1 meter is 3.28 feet. And then lastly, I need to go from feet to inches. And sorry, let me do this cancellation first. Meters is going to cancel. I'm left with feet. Now I need to go from feet to inches. So in my next conversion factor, I'm going to want feet on the bottom. I'm going to want inches on the top. And in my relationship, that's 12 inches in 1 foot. My feet will cancel. I'll be left with inches, which is what I want. So now it's just time for the math. So when I punch this in my calculator, I am just very simply going to multiply by anything on the top and divide by anything on the bottom. The order doesn't necessarily matter. So if I'm just going to write down below what I would punch in, I would punch in 4.5, and then I would do divided by 0.55. Then I would do times 3.28. And then I would do times again 12. Okay. So that's what I'm going to punch into my calculator. And when I do that, I get an answer of 322 inches. My starting quantity only had 2 digits in it, so it would probably be more correct to write 320 inches. as my answer, rounding it to that second digit. If you want to talk about sig figs, we can talk about those. That would be short for significant figures, which tells us how many digits to include. But I usually try to include in my answer however many digits my starting quantity had, which in this case was 2, and then round it off there. But if you wrote 322, we would definitely accept that answer.